Hear me? Alderwoman Smith, can you hear us?
Are we gonna do the phone thing?
We can see like we can hear her.
Yeah. My phone's over here. Let me text her.
Should we go ahead and get started? And should we start? Rich? Rich? Can we get started?
Go ahead.
Okay. Ready? The meeting of the Building, Zoning, and Economic Development Committee for June 11, 2025 is called to order at 4:01 p.m. The first order of business is to elect a temporary chair. Is there a motion?
I motion to elect and nominate Alderwoman Gaza to be temporary chair of the BZE.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Alderman Patrick Smith asking for a request to be on the remote. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Alderman Smith requests permission to participate remotely for Section 2-80 based on reasonable anticipation and extended illness. Is there a motion to authorize Alderwoman Smith to participate remotely?
A motion.
Okay. Motion made by Alderman White,
I second.
second Alderman Javier Bañuelos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposite? Motion carry. Voice vote. Okay. That's it.
Chairperson Mike Seville. Vice Chair Patty Smith.
Here.
Alderman Javier Bañuelos.
Here.
Alderwoman Juani Garza.
Here.
Alderman at Large Will White.
Here.
4 present.
Okay, so we have, first, we need to approve the minutes, the 25-0467 from the meeting held on May 28, 25. Can I have a motion for that?
Motion.
Motion approved by Alderman White. Second,
Second.
Alderman Bañuelos. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion pass. Okay. Public comments?
We do not have anyone signed up today.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the first item, give us the numbers. Okay, a resolution approving the final plat for wetland crossing subdivision, Phase 2A and vacant land located at Ogden Avenue near South Fransworth Avenue.
Okay, thank you. It's good to see everyone, meet everyone, those of you I haven't met. My name is Steve Broadwell, planner with the City of Aurora Zoning Division. So actually, Alderwoman, I do have 3 items that are together. The final plat for Phase 2A, final plat for 2B, for Wheatland Crossing, that is, and then the final plan for Wheatland Crossing Phase 2. So I believe we'll do all 3 together, if that's all right.
Okay, the other one is 25-0110. It's a resolution approving the final plat for the wetland crossing subdivision, Phase 2B in a vacant land located on Ogden Avenue near South Fransworth Avenue. And so we have also 25-0111, a resolution approving a final plan for wetland crossing subdivision, Phase 2A and Phase 2B located at Ogden Avenue near South Fransworth Avenue for one family dwelling 1110 and a ROW dwelling patio wall 1120 use.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So again, this is the final plat and the final plan for Wheatland Phase 2A, 2B, and 2. So you can see, just to give a little bit of context, you can see the aerial parcel map that I put together. So the area bounded in blue is Phase 2A, which is obviously the northern portion, which is approximately 13 acres. Phase 2B is approximately 6 acres. So the total Phase 2 of Wheeling Crossing is approximately 19 acres. So the reason there's two final plats for this project or being proposed here is Phase 2A is in Kane County, Phase 2B is in Kendall County. So based on when we have to, pending approval, we would have to record these separately at Kane County and Kendall County. But the final plan applies to obviously Phase 2A and 2B. So Phase 2A is, there's about 50 townhome units on there with accessory detention, and then open space. And then in Phase 2B, there's 14 single-family dwelling units. Phase 1, which is to the south along Farnsworth, was previously approved by the city council. Those permits for the homes, also townhomes and single-family homes, are coming in for permit right now. The preliminary plat and plan, which established the zoning and the outlines of what we see now with the final plat and plan, were approved. Those were all approved in 2024, I believe, and then the final plat and final plan for Phase 1 was also approved in 2024. So here we are with the final plat and plan for Phase 2, which is in substantial conformance with the preliminary approvals. I'm trying to think. So I think that's really it. I don't know if there are any questions for staff, but we do have petitioner here who can give a presentation.
So the single-family homes want to be in the section, the blue line,
No, the single-family homes will be,
and the orange or red.
yeah, the red Phase 2B.
So that one is not Farnsworth. What is the front of that?
I'm sorry, what, can you repeat the question?
Because one is is Ogden and Farnsworth is what they say, right? South Farnsworth Avenue.
Yeah, so that's, you're asking about the title of the resolution?
Yes.
That's just a general description of where the subject property is located. So Ogden Avenue is here. I apologize if I didn't, for not clarifying. So Ogden Avenue here is kind of northwest of Phase 2A, and then South Farnsworth Avenue is down here to the south, not directly touching the subdivision, but again, we just like to give the context.
Okay.
Does that answer your
So
question?
they want to be in two counties, huh?
2 counties, yes.
Wow. Questions, comments?
Okay.
Patty?
No, none for me.
It's fine for you? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Question, comments? No?
Yeah, we can hear you, Alderwoman.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Thank you.
Actually, Chair, I do have a quick comment. For the section where there's going to be the townhomes off of 34 there, is there going to be an entrance off of 34?
Yeah, there is. I'll show the plan here. So there is an access. Sorry, I'll zoom in. You can see the access right here. It kind of cuts through the middle. It's about 100 or so feet south of the access to the hospital across the street.
So you have pictures or no, of how they want to look?
The homes, you mean?
Uh-huh.
We do, and actually, so the elevations were approved with a preliminary plat and plan, but the petitioner does have a presentation which does show the models and has some specific details.
Okay.
So I think we can go through that in a minute.
Okay. More questions or comments?
Okay. So I'll bring up Dan in presentations here.
Okay.
so.
Thank you, Steve. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Dan Fabish. I am the entitlements manager for 4-Star. We are the land development manager for the project. D.R. Horton is the home builder, and so we're handling the entitlements for Phase 2 as well as the land development. And we're also the land developer on Phase 1 as well. So again, there's a quick aerial view of the general location. You can see where the existing site was. And here's a quick look at the overall site plan that shows the phase 1 there down in the south. And you can see where our Farnsworth entrances are and how those connect into phase 2. As Steve mentioned, we do have an entrance there onto Ogden. It is right in, right out only, as Ogden Avenue has a raised median, which will prevent left turns from getting out, from anyone turning left out of that Ogden Avenue entrance for the townhome section. And here's just a look at that phasing line again between where then phase 1's already been constructed, and they're just getting started on home building, but all the roadways are in and all the utilities. Taking a look at just the phase 2 overall site plan, we have the townhomes there in that northern section. That townhome section also includes a central park area that will have play equipment and seating. And then there's the detention area here, which provides a nice buffer from this existing property here, there to the south. And then also in the south there, you can see down Canyon Creek Drive, there's a section of the single-family housing. We've also provided a stub to our property line here on Husk Avenue in the future event where that property becomes developed. And we let that there. Here's a look at the townhome product that will be built here. This is also going to be built in phase 1 as well. Same product, same elevations. So they have 2 different floor plan offerings, and what those are is the in units are the I believe the in units are the Ashton, and the center units are Preston. And here's a look at the single family product. Again, this is the same stuff that will be available in phase 1 as well, so it'll be a kind of a cohesive representation throughout the whole overall project. And we have there's 7 different floor plans options for the single family product, which will be available. And then a quick look at the monumentation. The larger monument here with the yellow diamond, that's actually already constructed. And there's a little map here in the right-hand corner that's already, it's been constructed or is under construction already. And then there's another pier monument there along Farnsworth, which has already been constructed. So then at our north entrance near the townhomes, we'll have another pier monument there at that north entrance. And that is it. Do you have any questions?
What is the price range in the houses?
I believe it's the single family, if I recall correctly, was mid 350s to 400. But they haven't sold anything yet. They're just getting started on getting the homes going. And the townhomes, I think they were aiming for low to mid 3s was what they're targeting for the townhomes.
Do you know if they'll have a homeowners association?
Yes, it will.
Do you know what the fee for that is?
I do not know that. Typically, like I said, I don't know for this one, but typically it's around $80 to $100 a month.
Chairman? Chairman,
Yes?
Can you ask the petitioner to have that information available for us at the next meeting?
On the homeowners association?
Yes, those are questions that we get from communities, so it would be good for us to know the answers for that.
Okay, yeah, we can have that available.
And
Thank you.
just, can you also ask if they have a masters homeowners association as well?
Yes, so the Wheatland Crossing will be one single homeowners association for the entire project. And so this new phase will be annexed into that single homeowners association.
Okay. No more questions, no more comments?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion approved by Patty Smith.
Second.
Second, Alderman White. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed 4-0. Thank you.
That's about the 109, so we gotta do.
So we have to go, that one is for the 250109, right? So we have to go by one? Okay. Now, I need a motion for the 250110.
Motion.
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Alderwoman Patty Smith, second Alderman White. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Aye.
Okay, and the other one is the 25-0111, a resolution approving the final plat. So they did with 2A and Phase 2B located in Ogden Avenue. So that one is a motion also.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Alderwoman Patty Smith make a motion, and second Alderman Bañuelos. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Now we have to go to the number 2. Oh my God, that's over here. Now, the next item is 25-0401. An ordinance vacating a city easement of the property at 400 Mercy Lane in Kane County, Aurora, Illinois, 60506. And also for number 2, we have 25-0399, a resolution approving revision for the final plat for INC Board Division at 400 Mercy Lane and establishing Getaway Foundation Re-Subdivision. And also 25-0400, resolution approving a final plan for Getaway Foundation's Re-Subdivision at 400 Mercy Lane for a health-related facility for not-for-profit use.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone, it's Steve Bravo again. So yeah, as we just heard, there are 3 items here, the final plat and plan for Gateway Foundation at Mercy Lane. These were last week at the Planning and Zoning Commission, which they unanimously approved, and meeting up with it now is the plat of vacation. So a little bit of background, so you can see the subject property on the map here. So the Gateway Foundation has been there for at least 15 years, I would say. So what they're doing here is they do substance abuse treatment and recovery here. So what they're proposing here is a 23,000 square foot building addition for continued operations. The new addition will mostly be used, I understand it to be for rooms for their clients. And then just adding on to the existing operations again. The final plat is required because, as you can see, there's the bigger lot, where the existing building is located. The building addition is expanding over into the smaller open space right here, which requires a plat of consolidation into the one lot that they're proposing. And then the plat of vacation is just required per the engineering department's review because there's a city easement that's being relocated, so they just have to remove that from the final plat and then rededicate it. So it's all pretty straightforward. So the aerial, just a little bit more background, so you can see this is just zoomed in right here. The property is a little bit unique in that it doesn't actually have frontage on a public street. But as you can see, it's located a little bit back. So there's the Hope Wall Special Ed School right here to the southwest. The Thompson Center for Individual Development Services here to the south. And then there's a Fresenius Kidney Care here to the west. And then obviously Mercy Medical Center is to the north. But access to the property is from Mercy Lane, which then connects to West Indian Trail to the south, and then Highland Avenue to the west. So we do have a petitioner here who can answer any technical questions, but that's it for staff unless there are any other questions.
Okay. So it's like a connection, all the area in there.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's built out. It's it's not really establishing any new infrastructure. It's just I guess maybe infill development is a good word for it. So they're just obviously requesting this for continued and expanded operations.
Yes. So that one they talking about not for profit use. So what they mean is not charging nothing in there.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the
They
question?
said not for profit use.
Yeah, it's a community, I guess like it serves the community, so it's not, they're not making profit from the, so it's to serve the community, I guess is a good way to describe it.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay. So more questions, comments? Patty?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion approved for the, we want to go one by one. So the first one is 25-0401.
Second.
Motion by Patty Smith, second Alderman White. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0. The next one is for the 25-0399. A resolution approving the
So moved.
revision.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alderwoman Patty Smith, second Alderman Bañuelos. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0. And the last one is 25-0400. A resolution approving the final plan for Getaway Foundation Reserve Division.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman White, second Alderwoman Patty Smith. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed
Aye.
4-0. Okay, thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
And now going to number 3. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, now number 3. All right. 25-0472. A resolution approval the final plat for Lot 1-3 of Liberty and Neola subdivision and vacant land located in southwest corner of Liberty Street and Oriola Road. And 25-0473. A resolution approving the final plan for Lot 1-3 of Liberty and Neola subdivision located in the southwest corner of Liberty Street and Oriola Road for a car wash, single bay, 2832 use. Okay?
Good afternoon, Jill Morgan, Senior Planner. Let me just bring up the final plan real quick. So as Alderwoman mentioned, this is a final plat for Liberty and Eolia subdivision, which includes the 3-lot subdivision to develop a car wash on 1 lot and related stormwater detention facility. You probably recall, especially for the older men and women who were here previously, you saw this probably about 3 months ago when they came in for a preliminary plan revision. And then it's been about 2 years now, back in 2023, when we did the original zone annexation and zoning to allow for the car wash. So this final plan is in substantial conformance with what you saw at the preliminary plan revision. The details of the request include subdividing the property into 3 lots. One for what's being proposed now, the car wash, so that's being developed now. A second future concept lot, and then the stormwater detention facility to the south. The final plan is for all 3 lots, though the concept plan for this lot 2 future development, it will have to come back for a full final plan review once an actual proposal. So what you see before you is really just a concept, it's a buildable lot. The final plan is mostly for this 5,000 square foot car wash. It has 3 queuing lanes, and the vacuum lane are in front of it, the vacuum spaces, plus some parking for staff along to the south. All of the entrances remain the same as what we saw when it came in for zoning. So you have a entrance here off of Liberty that will have a left turn lane into the site. And then off of Eola, you have a southbound right turn lane into the site. And then off of Liberty, it's a right turn in, right turn out, and then you can have a left turn into it from going north on Eola. And then the people coming in can access, they'll go into the queue lanes, circle through, go through the car wash, exit the car wash, and then they can turn left, go towards Liberty, or turns right and go south towards Eola. And let me bring up the landscape plan. They did provide a landscape plan at preliminary. This is substantial with what you would have seen at that time. We did have a large amount of buffering to the residential to the west. There's a 50-foot setback. Within that, we have a berm along with trees, particularly some evergreen trees, and there is going to be a 8-foot fence that will be installed with this development. So all of this landscaping and fence is going in with the car wash development. And then I will bring up the elevations. And the elevations have not changed since the preliminary plan revision, though they are slightly changed from when they originally came in for the zoning entitlements. So as you can see, they still are proposing 2 tower pyramidal roof elements. They're using a variety of colors and concrete masonry units to create some vertical trim elements to the building to create some diversity in the architecture. And then you'll have some of the windows along the frontage that faces the street and faces the vacuums. Is there any questions for staff?
How close is it going to be to the homes?
It is
Quite a bit of ways. It's quite a ways away
quite
from home.
Yes. Sorry, I don't know exactly, but the car wash itself, so the homes are here. This is a 50-foot setback. So you have 50-foot completely setback with screening and trees before you even get to the future commercial development. The car wash itself is, I'm thinking that's at least 500 feet.
Okay. It's not a 24-hour car wash, is it?
No, it's not 24 hours. I don't remember exactly the hours of operation.
Okay.
There's another car wash less than a mile from there. That way another car wash to close. The other one is in New York and almost Osceola.
Yes, we did bring that up when they originally came in about there are some car washes in that area. They feel that with this being on Eola, and they would capture people going to and from the interstate, that there would be demand for it.
Because there's a lot of traffic on Eola all the time. And now put a car wash in there, so I hope it does not create problems like the car wash we have on Fransworth. When it's big lines, especially when it's raining and it's snowing, and it's a big line on Fransworth. So I don't know if they want to create a problem on Livery Street or Eola. So to me, it's like not a good area for car wash. I don't know.
We did look at the traffic. We did a whole entire traffic study when it came in. We specifically have 3 queuing lanes. 10 cars per lane, so that's 30. There's a little side here where people can even pull over as well. And then before you even talk about backing up to Liberty, you still have this entire internal drive aisle that they can back up with. And then if they're going off Eola, you have all of this vacuum, all of this going into the vacuum. So we felt that unlike the Farnsworth situation, that we have enough stacking and queue lines to not back up on Liberty or Eola. And the traffic study did show a lot of what the people who use this are people already coming past. It doesn't attract a lot of people from, especially during the weekday peak hours. The people who are coming here are already traveling on Eola, and they pull in to get their car washed.
Okay. Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Okay. Motion approved by Alderwoman Patti Smith.
Second.
Second, Alderman Javier Bañuelos. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And this one is for the 25-0472. And about 25-0473. Can I have motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Alderman White.
Second.
Second, Alderman Patti Smith. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed
Aye.
4-0. Thank you. Okay. Now we're going to number 4. Okay, the 25-0474 is a resolution approving the final plat for Lot 1 and 2 in Hayday Aurora subdivision and vacant land located on the southwest corner of Independence Drive and Constitution Drive. And 25-0475, a resolution approving final plat and Heyday Aurora subdivision located on the southwest corner of Independence Drive and Constitution Drive for a row dwelling party well 1120 use. And we
Did
have
we-
one more.
We had a, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
25-0478, right? The one is a resolution authorizing execution and an encroachment, easement, and maintenance agreement with CR Aurora Land LLC for portion of the property located in the Independence Drive and west of Constitution Drive related to the Heyday final plan. 25-0477, an ordinance vacating the city easement and the property located in the southwest corner of Independence Drive and Constitution Drive in Kane County, Aurora, Illinois, 60506. It's 4 items. Okay.
Thank you. Jill Morgan again, Senior Planner. So I have the petitioners here, and they do have a formal presentation. So I was just going to try to introduce the project and then can hand it over to the petitioner. And they have some of the good pictures of the landscaping and elevations to show you. So this is for a final plan and plat for the Heyday Aurora subdivision. Includes a subdivision allowed for the development of the two lots into 108 rental townhomes. So just as a reminder for the aldermen that were not present, in 2022, the property was rezoned from multiple zoning districts to the R4AC two-family dwelling district with a conditional use, which is part of the Muse conditional use plan development. At the time, the preliminary plat was for 102 rental townhomes known as the Muse. The current final plan and plat for Heyday Aurora is being proposed by a different developer, but the final plan and plat is primarily consistent with approved preliminary plan and plat, with some minor differences. One key difference is that the Muse was for a mixture of rear-loaded and traditional front-loaded products, with driveways coming off of Independence Drive, while Heyday Aurora are all rear-loaded products. So that reduces the curb cuts on Independence Drive, as well as creates more green space along Independence Drive because they are rear-loaded products. And then I will take this. And then this is the second half of the final plan. Another difference with the Muse rear-loaded homes is that they didn't have driveways. They contained 112 surface parking spaces, while most of the Heyday Aurora subdivisions have 2-car garages and 2-car driveways. The final plan is for the row dwelling party wall use, basically townhome-like products. They're developing 21 buildings containing 108 units on 8 acres. And then concurrently with this, they're doing the plat of vacation, which is vacating some city easements that were already on the property that kind of interferes with current development. And then the fourth item is an encroachment easement and maintenance agreement between the city of Aurora and CR Aurora Land LLC. And that's on this portion of the property. And right here, that's between their 2 lots. This is a city-owned property, and it connects to that detention parcel on Orchard Row. So they're proposing a drive aisle parking spaces to connect their 2 properties on city-owned property. So this agreement allows for that, as well outlines maintenance. They will maintain the drive aisle, the parking. They will maintain the green space in between as well. Is there questions for staff before I hand it over to the petitioner for the presentation?
Questions, comments? Alderwoman Smith, no questions?
No questions at this point.
Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Swingruber. I'm with the development team for Heyday and the proposed Heyday Aurora project. Thank you for this forum. Let me see here. Okay. So the first thing I'd like to say is the project was entitled 2 years ago, and unfortunately the developer that had it, got it entitled and designed, passed away, and so we're have a contract with the family and the family trust in order to purchase the property pending approvals. So we think we've made significant improvements to it, and I'll talk about that briefly. But first, a really brief introduction of who we are. We do develop rentals, but as you know, apartment rental, that's a very broad term. We specifically only develop single-family attached. That's a fancy way of just saying townhomes. So we do that in ranch style, 2-story and 3-story. For this proposed site, we felt the 2-story was the most appropriate in honor of the previous approvals. The company was founded in during COVID, and we've been in business for approximately 5 years. We have 300 units under management, and we're starting another 300 this year and another 500 next year. And we only do single-family attached. And part of our thesis is nobody living above and below, energy efficient, electrical vehicle charging in every garage. Every unit parks 4 to 1, whether it's a 1-bedroom or a 3-bedroom or a 4-bedroom or 2. Everybody gets a 2-car direct access garage and a 22-foot driveway apron to accommodate more of a single-family type of living. We primarily focus on 2 and 3 bedrooms, and that's the highest concentration in unit mix. On this particular project, that's all we're providing. Majority, I think it's 60-40, 3 bedrooms to 2. The goal is substitution for home ownership. It's extremely challenging out there in terms of the cost of construction, inflation, finding entry-level homes. One of the stats we always love to provide is, if you look back in the 80s, the national builders delivered approximately 38 to 40% entry-level homes every year. That number is down to 8%, unfortunately. So, identifying quality housing for people, stepping stone into home ownership for Aurora, that's the goal here, to find younger renters that are looking for something different than a traditional apartment, that want to stay in the market and are evaluating the market for the schools and finding a home eventually and saving for that home. And we're going to show that math as well. I talked to some of the challenges of why we started the company and why we feel this product is in such demand. This is an image from a project that we did, 170 rental homes in Madison, Wisconsin. That's 100% occupied. This is another image of that community. It's on 40 acres. This is our second project in Milwaukee, a suburb of Milwaukee, Oak Creek. This was on a 91-acre site, heavily challenged by environmental and wetlands. So we only developed 30 acres. Here's 130 rental homes. This is currently 80% leased, 70% occupied, and is completed and should be stabilized here by the end of the summer. Here's a rendering of Heyday Aurora, looking out on the detention pond that we'll be tying into, that's already designed and built. And so one of the items Jill spoke to is how we've improved the parking, the green space, and the architecture and fronting independence. And I think what's critical is the previous design had 15 curb cuts, right? So you're, from a pedestrian safety standpoint, increased traffic on Independence. We've been able to reduce that by flipping and putting the facades facing the single-family homes across the street, creating a sidewalk and walkability, and having the garages on the rear side. Additionally, the previous project had 114 less parking spaces, which could be problematic for Independence and Nelson for parking, right? Because there could be off-street parking. By adding 114 spaces by the 4-to-1 design strategy that we employ, we're going to have less off-street parking, and it'll be less of a burden to the surrounding community. Here's the site plan. Kind of gives you an idea of what I was speaking to. I know at one point we were talking about the city property and how we're paving over that. We will maintain that area. We feel that's critical just for the connectivity between the two areas and also reducing curb cuts. Without that, we would be requiring 2 more curb cuts out in Independence. So we will maintain that area, and it's purely for connectivity between the two communities, or the 2 parcels, which I think it increases green space, pedestrian connectivity, and reduces traffic flow on Independence. This just shows where the 2 and the 3-bedroom units, the colors just correspond to whether it's a 6-unit building or a 5-unit. A B means a 2-bedroom, and a C means a 3-bedroom. So these are the floor plans, just relatively quickly. Everything comes with a 2-car direct access garage. Mechanical closets are accessed from the garage. We never have to interrupt a resident. We can always go in for maintenance through the garage for security, access, and just convenience. The 2-bedroom comes with a den or a work-from-home office. And this is an image of the 3-bedroom. The kitchen, living room is standardized, so is the mechanical closet in the garages, and then the bedrooms are on the 2nd floor. Here's some renderings that are pretty lifelike of what it's going to look like. I would encourage you, if you would visit our websites for other communities, this is pretty much identical. We use high-end finishes, more consistent with custom entry-level homes. The reason for that is we're not merchant builders. We're not looking to build this and flip this. We're long-term holders of these assets, and we want to be a part of the communities, and that's evident by the type of debt that we use. So here's some images. As Jill spoke, we've been working pretty diligently up to the last week on the exteriors to make sure they're consistent with the vision and the intent with the city. I think we've done a great job on a horizontal. We're using horizontal lap siding in terms of the horizontal nature of the facades, and then we have a vertical element in the board and batten. We have variances between black and white windows, stone used throughout as a water table. Here's an image of what the garden courtyards will look in between the buildings internal to the community. Here's the renderings facing the detention that's already in place that would be tying into. Another shot at the garden courtyards. That's our leasing facility that will be at the northeast corner of the property. And there's a shot of the garages. Everyone parks 4 to 1, as I said before, and everybody gets electrical vehicle charging capabilities inside the garage. This is what it would be looking out onto Independence, excuse me. Another shot of the garages for the 2 bedrooms. And so lastly, in terms of accessibility, affordability takes on a lot of different meanings, but for us it's very important to understand what does it cost to own a home in the community that we're in, because we're really trying to create that narrative where somebody can move in and save. And so when you look at 2 different scenarios, one, if you're putting 10% down in a home or you're putting 20% down in a home, it varies, but we're 17 to 30% more affordable on a monthly basis that allows somebody to save for that eventual home in the community. The median home value is derived from Realtor.com based on the last 24 months. Interest rates are where they are today in terms of a 30-year fixed interest rate mortgage, and it takes into account homeowners insurance, property taxes, repairs, and maintenance. And one of the things I didn't list is in our rent, taxes are taken care of, and repairs and maintenance, as well as landscaping and snow removal, all things that would be contributing to the cost of home ownership. And then this is just a summary of typical public concerns a lot of times when you hear about multifamily rental apartments in terms of home values, then our product potentially impacting that, social interaction and crime, school and taxes. I won't go into the specifics unless you guys have any questions, but we've researched this greatly on that these impacts really aren't accurate when it comes to Class A rental communities. And so that's a brief presentation. I'll be happy to take any questions, so thank you.
Yes.
So, Ryan, can you go back to the map that shows where these homes will be?
Yep. This one?
Yeah, so from my understanding with this area, there's you have Constitution, and that feeds on to Galena, correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay, so one concern I have is just wondering if you've thought this through. With over 150 homes added to that area and one entry point to Galena, my concern is the congestion of the vehicles coming from this area out to the Galena street. And have you thought through how you'd mediate congestion, being that there's only one entry point to Galena from this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the intent was to honor the previous design, and so there are 2 access points. You can take Independence out to Orchard, that's one way, and then you can take Constitution to Galena. It's 108 units.
Okay, 108. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think it's a valid concern, but at the same time, I think we're in line with the same density, and those previous traffic studies were completed on the previous approval. And additionally, just south of Nelson, you have Aldi and some commercial that's going to drive I think a lot more traffic than our community. And remember, our peak loads are going to be when you go to work and when you come home from work. Other than that, I think the impact will be minimal other than those times of days. But there are 2 ways in and out between Independence and Constitution, depending on which way you're going.
Got it. One other question. You mentioned that the average month is for rent is $2,920?
No, the average rent ranges from $2,600 to $2,900.
To 29. Is that current rentals, or is the homes that are currently there, or will that be the homes that will be built?
Oh, so yeah, we benchmark off what the market rents are locally.
Okay.
So that's consistent with like, I think it's called River Highlands is nearby as a townhome community that's probably 12 years older. But that rent, the only thing that's nuanced about that, and you have to consider, like I said, is the taxes, landscaping, snow removal is all baked in, and parking is included. So in a typical rental community, you get one spot, maybe, well, you get a one spot surface, but you have to pay for garage parking, where we're giving you 2 garage spots, 2 driveway apron spots, and that's all included. So from a market rate standpoint, it's consistent with this northern Aurora market.
Okay, thank you.
John Curley, Chief Development Services Officer. I also wanted to add that Nelson Lake also turns out onto Galena with a right turn only. So likely the southbound Orchard traffic could traverse on Nelson, probably not go east to Constitution, and then head west on Galena. So I think there'd actually be a pretty even split between traffic heading west using Nelson and perhaps east or south using Constitution. So I just thought I'd add that.
Thank you.
More questions, comments? Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
okay. Alderwoman Smith, okay?
Yes, yes.
All right.
That looks good.
All right. I need a
Motion to
motion
approve.
for the first one is 25-0474.
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Alderwoman Patty Smith.
Second.
Second, Alderman White. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed 4-0. Now I need for 25-0475.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, motion made Alderman White. Second, Alderwoman Patty Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed
Aye.
4-0. Okay, and next one is 25-0477.
So
need-
moved.
Motion by Alderwoman Patty Smith, second Alderman White. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed
Aye.
4-0. And I need now for 25-0478.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, motion made by Alderman White, second Alderwoman Patty Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passed 4-0. Thank you so much. Now I have the health. So the item 25-0438 is a resolution approving the final plat for Mason subdivision and vacant land located at 1127 Talma Street and 1129 Talma Street.
Good afternoon, Tracy Basic, Director of Zoning and Planning. I can actually say that now. The subject property is located at 1127 Tallman Street and 1129 Tallman Street, and is currently vacant land with R2 one-family dwelling district zoning. There is also a small portion of vacant land just north of these properties also that you see on your screen. The city is currently working on taking inventory of all the city-owned properties and is determining a course of action. For these properties, the city is requesting approval of a final plat for Mason subdivision to consolidate the 3 parcels into 2 parcels to sell each parcel to future single-family homes. That little third sliver on the top is not buildable, so we're just incorporating those splitting it in half to the 2 individual parcels below. They're going to be approximately 60 feet in width and 175 in depth. So then we would look to then to sell them or put them on the market for sale.
So how many foot you say, 15?
I'm sorry.
How many,
So there would be 2 lots created.
Yes.
To consolidate into 2
but the 2
lots.
lots want to be the same size?
Yeah, they would be about the same size. They're about 60 feet in width and then 175 feet back. I think it's about a little over 10,000 square feet.
Okay. So that way it's able to put a house in there?
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
all right. Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Motion approved by Alderwoman Patty Smith, second Alderman White. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passed.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so no other item to discuss in this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Alderwoman Patty Smith.
Second.
Second Alderman White. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion adjourned. By 4:50. Thank you very much.